back. If you just joined us, it's still Enterprise Friday, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our conversation for today. The People's Democratic Party, the coalition of the United Political Parties and the Social Democratic Party, have condemned the House of Representatives' move to impose age limits for the offices of the President and the Governor in the country. Through a bill that passed through second reading on Thursday, the House aimed to prevent individuals over 60 years from running for president and governor in Nigeria. If the bill kills legislative scrutiny and is signed into law, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, will meet out on the 2027 presidential contest as they are all above 60 years of age. The PDP criticized the move as a misplaced priority, accusing the lawmakers of focusing on trivial issues while neglecting more important ones. It argued that Nigeria's main governance challenges lie in corruption, incompetence, and a lack of patriotism rather than age. A bill sponsored by Ikenga Ugochinyere, representing Ideato North, Ideato South Federal Constituency of Imo State, the bill provides that a person shall be qualified for election to the office of the president if he has been educated up to at least university level and has earned a bachelor's degree in his chosen field of study. Now let's have a conversation. Innocent Adoluba is still here with us. Thank you so very much, Innocent.
Quite an interesting topic, Henry.
Yeah, quite interesting. At least for a very long time now, we have the first time actually in a very long time that we have seen members of parliamentarians saying something that looks like what should be discussed. And here we have it, 60 years of age is what they said. But just like we did talk about when we were talking about the age of our dear president, age is nothing but a number. It does not in any way determine if a person is good enough or understands what good governance is about. So speak to us. Do you think this makes any sense? Or is this just the parliamentarians just trying to keep busy?
It's two sides to a coin. First of all, the civil service retirement age in Nigeria was 65. I think at some point they were pushing for 70, you know. But if within this government this bill is coming up, I believe if it succeeds in the House of Rep, it will fail in the Senate, because it means President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, of all contestants, who is eligible for now without the bill, will become ineligible. Nigerians, many will love that. But it will now shut out Nigeria's darling, Peter Obi, in some segment. If you ask my opinion, I would say 65. You know, I would say 65. Like at the time you are contesting, you should not be more than 65. At the time of contesting. So
have we seen historically, because the reason I'm asking this is you are a darling of history. Historically, do we see this in any part of the world? Especially from the United States, where we borrowed our presidential system of government from. Donald Trump is 70-something. Joe Biden would have been re-elected and is going upwards of 80-something. So in history, do we have any country in the world that regulates age to who becomes the leader?
No, Joe Biden would not have been re-elected, but Joe Biden would have re-contested. It is after he had contested and the election results come out for sure that we can say he was re-elected. But Joe Biden, to be specific, God bless that long-serving American statesman, was already, you know, bowing to the to nature.
According
as regards
to you,
age. Not according to me.
He said,
those were the reasons.
He said that he was good to go. In fact,
Really?
Yes.
So why did his party change him?
Well, he said that he would just he did that just to appease to his party, but he knew.
No, not
that
the
he would
appease.
have,
Why did the party change him?
Well, it's because of he was losing steam, political steam, not age. Political steam.
Harry, your argument is flawed.
Okay.
There were instances, especially within the United Nations Congresses, where President Joe Biden had finished making a comment and called Zelensky, Putin, to come and make a speech.
Well, that can happen to anyone.
Incredible.
It can.
Incredible. Joe Biden, God bless him, I said he's a long-serving, was stuttering in his movements, falling in public. You know. Harry, these are well documented. So, Joe Biden would not have been re-elected. You and I don't know the outcome for sure. But Joe Biden would have recontested if his party let him go. But it is for all of these frailties. You and I are not 70 yet. I don't know if I would live up to the age of Joe Biden. He has had a glorious political career serving America. This conversation is not in any way discrediting. But specific to nature and age, he was on the diminishing. And the party felt maybe a younger Kamala Harris. And that woman, kudos to her, glorious in defeat, put up a very spirited fight. But of course, the behemoth, Donald Trump.
The older one.
Yes.
The older person.
Donald Trump.
Yes.
Is and Donald Trump, you hear him speak, it belies his age. So we are not talking about, you know. So, but coming to Nigeria, I'm not the lawmaker. If Nigeria has a teeming population of over 200 million people, then to tame that, there are merits in that bill. Previously, it was just a primary 6 certificate. It has been upped to a bachelor's degree. I didn't see an HND equivalent there. So it's a bachelor's degree. And I'm sure, well, let's not go there, a story for another day, but people know the different methods of getting their degrees, you know. So, but I would say, at the time you are contesting, you should not be more than 65. So some of your active age before senility, or however it is, would have been spent in government. Look at Professor Patrice Lumumba. Look at, is it Patrice Lumumba? Professor Lumumba,
yeah,
anyway.
Professor Lumumba.
Look at Professor Shoyinka. Look at, who are they? Femi Falana, although not in that level age yet. They still talk very confident to us.
So which is not an age factor thing. It's
Yes.
How aware you are, how healthy, because you can still be 20-something years old and be impaired because of health situation. So I think the discussion here shouldn't be about age, but how sound you are. Because when we talk about age here, we've had young leaders. I don't want to mention name here, but permit me to just say one person, Yahaya Bello. Has been a very young person who has led his state, but of course it comes with lots of issues that Nigerians are asking. Do we still need to allow young people govern this country, knowing that people who are young that have been given same opportunity have not used it well? So is this a factor of age, or more about self-awareness and understanding of what intentional leadership is?
It's young or youthfulness is relative. His Excellency Baba Tunde Raji Fashola was a youth as a governor. I think 48 or 49. You know, Donald Duke was a youth.
A young adult, not you.
Well, let's
because you used to
Yaya Bello is a conflicting exception. You know, they've been even. You can point at Peter Fayose, His Excellency, the former governor of Ekiti State, in his first coming, you know. So it's not the age, it's the disposition of the person.
Beautiful.
And the person's drive towards excellence. You know, but I'm saying if we want to peg an age, I will support that the person contesting should not be older than 65. A lot of them go out for medical repairs, under conference, under this and that meeting. We saw President Buhari, sometimes he can be incommunicado, a country's national president, and you find ethnic clamor if power should be bequeathed or not to a vice president. You hardly, yes, life and death are in God's hands, but we are yet to see somebody between the 40 to 60 year gap jetting out at such a frequency. So if we want to peg an age, that there must be an age pegging. At the time of contesting, you should be less than 65. You should not be more than 65. You know, so that, I mean, this is nature. There is age, there is senility, and all the attendant baggages that leads to later life. If the country has this teeming population, as was done in the case of the reference of Joe Biden, then we have younger alternatives. And let me see that the system we run deprives Nigeria of good leadership, punishes excellent leaders who have to queue in waiting. In some places by now, I'm not holding forth for him, but when it will get to the turn of Babatunde Raji Fashola, we would be seeing his older version. He would be going downhill.
Which is, of course,
now that he is in his prime, there are others whose turn it is. And so we run a gerontocracy, which is government by old age. That is why they will tell you the aspirant, the candidate of candidacy of Sowore is too young. Somebody who is in his 50s is too young. Because we need, I don't want to use the word, but we need very, very older people. Sowore is in his prime. He's a Nigerian. He is enfranchised. So if people vote him and INEC count right, what makes him ineligible to be a governor, a president? Or Peter Obi, or Shehu Sani, or Fashola, or what's the other man that was from the World Bank? The Igbo...
Yes, the AFDB man.
No, not the Yoruba one. Okay. There was Mogalu.
Mogalu.
Yes, any of them. The AFDB man is yet to throw his hat in the... I'm calling those who are possibly in line. So, age is not the key issue. It's genuine political will, integrity, honesty. You know, you look at the resources domiciled in Nigeria and juxtapose it with poverty. And look at the leaders. All the governors, ministers, presidency, senators lacking either the idea to convert the potential to kinetic with regards to economy, or creating the enablement, or pushing people who can do that. There's a blatant show of administrative poverty. Lots of countries in the world are landlocked. They pay port dues to access international trade by sea. Turkey is cashing in on the Bosphorus with Russia at Anatolia. There is the Suez Canal in Egypt, Panama, and all the waterways. You know, and in Nigeria, we locked all of them and we overcrowd Apapa. Today, this and that are falling on people. You know, we even have the potential to create new ones. There is Calabar, there is Warri, there is Port Harcourt, One and the rest. It must be Apapa.
Now, speaking about, all of these things you've just enumerated here, is it that we are lacking in having incubation hubs for would-be politicians, to occupy the seats of authority and do what they ought to do? I'd love you to juxtapose this with an average military training. For those who have the opportunity of going through NDA, Nigerian Defense Academy, which of course produced the likes of Yakubu Gowon, and all the military, Babangida, who at a very young age, young adults, were able to take over the nation, and of course impacted in one or two ways. So do you think in Nigeria today what we have are just haphazard distribution of people who do not even understand what leadership is? But of course we are all under the umbrella of democracy.
There are excellent leaders in Nigeria, but they exist outside of politics. There are people, look at that woman, Obi Ezekwesili. She's an Amazon in every right. But if she goes to her state, will she like the terms and conditions of the APC or the PDP? If she joins a lesser party, will she have the clout, party-wise, to ascend and gain victory? That's where it lies. How much, Henry, is a senatorial ticket? If you have the money, would that be your first choice of expenditure? Why are they so high? Why these cash limitations? And as Professor Lumumba will tell you, that is why the worst of us are leading the best of us. Vice presidents are way more advanced academically than their principals. If you start with Professor, what's his name? Alex Ekweme.
Ekweme, yes.
You know?
The architect.
Yes. You come to, I don't know, the credentials of Atiku Abubakar compared to Obasanjo. I think that was a balance.
You see what is balanced
at the time.
A custom officer.
At the time, you know.
That, yeah.
But their government also sailed well, despite some cracks. Now you come and compare Professor Oshimbajo. Out there in Unilag, if you go to the Nigeria Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, you will see his name there on the door. A respected legal law professor. And then you juxtapose him with President Buhari, who is happy to tell the world, I am not aware. That's the person Professor Oshimbajo is deputizing for. And you put today's government, where we have on the leading to election discrepancies of the whereabouts of the credentials and certifications of the president. But the vice had no such issue.
Yeah.
I hear he was a lecturer,
a renowned banker,
and all of that. So that leadership, and then if you ask, okay, people like Femi Falana ran for election and failed woefully. But you see, those men are not disgraced. The system rejected credible people. The system rejected credible people.
Now, when you talk about the system, are you talking about the electoral umpire, or you're talking about electorate, or you're talking about a systemic, invincible hands that we do not see? Who are you referring to now? So we would know where to pin our problems to.
The system is not one institution. The system is a whole made up of parts.
A combination of everything.
Is a whole made up of parts. The whole is Nigeria. If you go to an average person today to campaign and you tell them, let me just do something, that you are from COP political party, they will ask you, what party is that? They would have admired you, the way you talk, your track record, but they will tell you, sorry, you are in the wrong party. So the political socialization is low, that it is credible individuals you are to vote for, irrespective of party label. You hear they tell you, oh, this and that persons are in the wrong party. We would have loved Peter Obi, just that he didn't join the right party. If Peter Obi comes to APC, he will be on queue. When it is his turn, he will be senile. If he goes to PDP, there was the Wike Atiku queue. Obi, for instance, looking at leveraging his political rights, does not want to wait. So, the system, who appoints INEC head? How efficient has Professor Mahmoud be? Does he merit to be there for 10 years as he has been? Don't we have options? It's a systemic thing. Look at the judiciary. You take cases there. Do you get the right reprieve? The system is a whole, made up of many parts, and these parts are our institutions, our parastatals, our functionaries, our processes. You look, if you want, okay, we are an economy that should boom up, that is in need of boom. What are the processes for registration of new businesses? What are the lending rates? The economy is down. People want to lend money. It's in double digits.
27%.
So it's systemic. You have Mudashiru Obasa impeached by a house. Then all the members of the house jet to Abuja, have a conference, sang worship song, on your mandate we shall stand, returned, and then fly away Peter, fly away Paul. It's systemic.
But speaking on other issues, let's take a look at classical cases in other parts of the world. Burkina Faso, of course, it's not a democratic leadership there. Ibrahim Traore is in charge of a landlocked country.
Exactly.
Yes, and is doing awesomely well. He's doing so awesomely well. Niger, as I speak to you right now, is one amongst the fastest growing economy. Just our closed door neighbor here that we just helped with fuel some couple of days back. But of course, they are far ahead of all. The CFA, which used to be the currency, where we don't even see it as anything today, is beyond the naira itself. And all of this, passes through the conduit of leaders either doing the right thing and getting the right results, or leaders not doing the right thing, and of course getting the kind of results that they have. But speak to us when we take a look at Africa. Do you think now that the military as leadership style, seems to be more helpful to the African culture, as it were, when it comes to good governance?
It's not the military. It's the personality in the military. Traore, as we know him, can choose to be a dictator and be worse off than the government that they sacked. It's a personality thing, So that's why, as I'm talking to you, I'll tell you straight. If we had a Gaddafi type of government in Nigeria, not democratic, for all the developments Libya were known for under Gaddafi, I would prefer it. I'll prefer it.
Even if it limits the freedom of speech and your ability to speak out, just like you're doing now so glaringly.
Let me be blunt. In Nigeria, they will tell you who we help. You speak grammar. Graduates are celebrating their out of NYSC, as we said. They will soon wake up to reality of jobs or no job. The message is create your own job. Under what circumstance? Is it on record now that Traore is banishing freedom of speech, Henry? Have you read of such?
Not really.
So it doesn't mean that every military government will do that. Do you understand? If we are discussing Burkina Faso, we are discussing Niger. If you hear the cities they have, it's nowhere near Nigeria city. The capital of Niger is Niamey. Then there are little, let me call them village towns, Maradi, Agadez, Tahoua, Arlit, Magaria, names you cannot compare to Kaduna or Calabar or Port Harcourt. And that's the country you are saying are on the brink of being crowned the fastest growing economy in West Africa, in their military garb. If you go to Burkina Faso, just slightly larger than Niger State in Nigeria, their most popular town is their capital city, Ouagadougou. The rest of the towns, Bamfora, Kodogu, Fadangorma, and the rest, are not nowhere compared to, don't let me even call it Ibadan. There are towns in Nigeria that are not state capitals, that are flourishing. Ota, Zaria, Ogbomosho, Ijebu-Ode, Aba, Onitsha. These are not state capitals. And there may be more. If you go to Azare, those are not state capitals. So, it is the genuine look, that's where there is the discrepancy. You package human beings and run Olympic selection in quad-annual democracy for Senate and Presidency. And these individuals are coming from select cabals, godfathers who they owe. Look at Rivers State. Allegiance are divided and the commonwealth of the masses are at stake, of which direction of loyalty it should go. So a democracy can be worse than a military government. And some military governments can be worse than democracy. The barest index is welfare of the masses. And look, if Nigeria plunges into any type of government, any type, that the welfare of the masses improves greatly, they won't want to let go, Henry. They won't want to let go. How much is one egg today? One egg. One egg. How much? So if you find one type of government, I don't know the name, call it whatever, and things are in place. This is 2025. People go to farm with hoe and cutlass, not mechanization. And even those people are chased by Boko Haram, who are later captured by the government and let go for free, rehabilitated as repented. So where would farming come from? Where would food come from? Why wouldn't there be food? There is that new nomenclature, food inflation. Kudos to President Buhari and President Tinubu, the APC coinage, because we didn't have that before. You know. So people graduate, look for a job and sit in front of computer. We are dressed. Nigeria cannot clothe itself. These clothes are imported. We are hungry. Nigeria cannot feed itself with rich agricultural land. We import food. We are insecure. We cannot secure ourselves. And so when you find a government under any name that takes care of this, Henry, people will support it. They won't want to let go.
So this is more of a function of good governance, as it were. Remember where we were coming from, the age thing, and asking ourselves what should be the best age bracket. And interestingly, we've taken it even beyond that and questioning, not just age here, but the capacity of those in government, and asking the very, very important question here. What is the capacity of those who serve us, and do they really have what it takes to governors? Your parting shot on this particular, if you had the opportunity of changing, if you are given that almighty opportunity and the power to change Nigeria, what do you think would be that thing you would do?
Nigeria or a state, or the Nigeria?
Nigeria, as it were.
Well, it's one thing to criticize now.
Yes, exactly. It's very easy to point at issues, but of course where the work is getting the solution.
Well, I think it will be priority to get power right so that production and manufacturing can come to stay. It will be priority to take agriculture as priority, mechanized agriculture. It will be priority for, like, in 5 years to ban importation of clothes, automobiles, vehicles. Make do with the ones we have here for that period. It will be priority, if I'm Nigeria's president, there will be a law. That's the one thing I will do. From local government, House of Assembly, state governor, minister, House of Reps, Senate, president. If you agree to serve in that capacity, you will not travel abroad until your tenure is over.
And you think that's not draconian?
No, it is not. It is a choice. Now that you know, don't contest. You are in your house. You are not a governor yet. You've heard it. Since it is draconian, leave it alone. There will be people who will do it. Draconian is shoving things down your throat. You want to go for medical, go to the one at your backyard. Oh, it's not well equipped. Equip it. The functionaries there are Nigerian doctors abroad. There can be doctors abroad also working here. That will be my primary regulation for the staff, for the administration. But for policy, we need to get power right. We need to get mechanized agriculture right. We need to open all our ports and operate them uniformly. There is no separate set of rules if you want to go to Calabar port, different from if you want to go to Apapa port. If we need more ports, Ogun State has a water side. It can also take a port. Ondo State has Okitikpukpa, Igbokoda. They can take ports. It does not have to be as large as Apapa if the accurate depth is achieved. So instead of some ships docking on the high sea, you come over this way. So you prioritize power, mechanized agriculture, standard multimodal transportation, and then you ban vehicle importation. All government officials should use vehicles that are made in Nigeria, whatever their name. And then the naira that is impotent will start gaining potency. It will drink economic Viagra and be very potent. Henry, let me stop there.
Well, someone would say
That's
it
okay.
only takes God to make that possible.
But
You
people
know, some
like
people have
that
equally
are
said
not
that-
allowed into office. There are many people who can do this better than me. Can they get there?
That's another talk for another day. Well, we truly do hope and believe that things will get better. It doesn't take a magic or miracle to make these things happen. It's just that intentionality of those in government. Intentional leadership is what it takes to make this happen. Legacy is one thing I love to believe our leaders don't even care so much about. They're rather more interested in what comes home and what they take to the bank at the end of the day. Well, if we continue this way, we might not have a country. That is a fact. Though, as a prayerful country, we'll continue to pray and hope that things get better. Thank you so very much, Innocent Aduluba.
Our pleasure.
I really do appreciate you once more. All right, people, that's just about the time we have for today. I love to believe you enjoyed our discussion for today, just like I did right here. But please do well to be part of what we do. Always find us if you want to read some more on what we have discussed today at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally rewatch what we have done today when you visit us at Enterprise TV S7. My name is Henry Igwebike. Thank you for watching. It's nice doing business with you. Have yourself a wonderful day and